Hello everybody and welcome to my series of micro lessons. These short lessons will focus on common errors that are often made when writing literature essays and will give you advice and guidance on how to fix them. Today we're going to be looking at how to analyse language in a quotation and to develop that by making your own inferences. So let's have a look at what the problem is. So the problem is that once you've got your quotation into your paragraph, you're explaining it rather than focusing on the language used. So you don't really comment on any of the significant aspects of language, you merely just explain in a rather general way. So what is the solution? Start by underlining one keyword in that quotation. So a keyword or a phrase, try not to analyse everything. So think about which word stands out. What are the connotations of that word? What do you understand that word to mean? And then what does it mean within the text? So how has the writer utilised this word? Why has it been used here? What does it reveal? And what can you infer from this particular word? So let's have a look at an example. So this is taken from a literature essay on Carol Ann Duffy's poem A Child's Sleep. So let's have a look at the error. Duffy creates a moving experience for the reader by presenting the strength of the love emanating from the mother. Very clear point. It's obvious that this person understands what the poem is about. This maternal love can be seen in stanza 1 when the speaker says, "I stood at the edge of my child's sleep." So good quotation, it's embedded and introduced, so let's see what they do with it. Here we can see how much the mother cares for her child as she wants to be part of the child's life even when it's asleep. Now that is a good explanation, but it isn't analysed. We really want to look at the language used, and as you can see I've already looked at what really stands out, and it's this word edge, and it gives this quotation an image that you can focus on. So that word really creates imagery but also helps you to understand the strength of the mother's love. And you've got to ask yourself, when you're explaining a quotation, take it further. How do you know? So how do you know from this quotation that the mother cares for her child? How do you know that she wants to be part of the child's life even when it's asleep? And if you ask yourself those questions, then your answer is going to be because she's on the edge. Because she comments on the fact that she's on the edge. The use of the word edge really gives this quotation meaning. So let's see how we can fix it. So let's have a look. Here is the analysis rather than the explanation. The choice of the word edge. So look how we've started here. We've immediately zoomed in on the word that we want to use, and the person who's reading our essay now knows exactly what we're going to focus on. The use of the word edge illustrates the liminal position the mother occupies, as the strength of her love means that she is always a part of the child's life, even if in some instances she can only be a mere observer. So we've discussed the connotations of the word and we've linked it to what the poem is actually about. We've linked it to what this line is about. Shows that the mother is always on the edge of something. So we've considered the effect that it's also imagery, and we've been very, very specific. We've answered these questions, how do you know? It shows that she occupies a liminal position, so she's neither part of the child's life nor out of it, she's on the edge. It also shows that even though she can only be an observer, she still wants to be a part of the child's life. The love is still there. So we've also linked it all the way back to the point as well. So we've analysed the connotations, we've thought about the effect within the line, we've thought about the effect within the poem as a whole, we've linked it back to the meaning of the poem. So we have a really good analysis here on just one word. So finally, my top tips for you. Select one interesting word or phrase that stands out, that really gives that quotation the meaning. Then start to ask yourself the questions. Now these questions will help to prompt your analysis. What are the connotations of the word? So what is suggested by the word? And once you've got those connotations, how can you then link that back to what the quotation is describing? Keep everything very tight. Do not stray from that quotation. As well as trying to link to the wider themes of the poem and what it's about. Think about why it's been used. This helps you to link to the author's intention and their message. What is the effect on the reader? What does it make you think of? How do you feel? What does it add to the quotation as a whole and what that quotation means? What does it reveal about character or speaker in this instance, action, setting, relationships? How does it reinforce your point and the key word within your point? How does it reinforce the message of the poet, the writer? How does it reinforce or reflect the themes? And how does it reinforce the effect of the overall technique, if there is a technique in there? So you don't have to answer all of these questions, just the ones that you think are appropriate for that particular quotation. So I hope you've enjoyed my micro lesson on how to analyse language and make inferences. Thank you very much. Goodbye.